Hey everyone, I'm so excited to talk about this movie, the first in the Landry series, Ruby. 3 additional movies were made called Pearl in the Mist, All That Glitters, and Hidden Jewel. There was a 5th book in the series called Tarnished Gold that never got made into a movie. As of yet, who knows what the future holds. It was the prequel to the 4 books that came before it. So today we're talking about just Ruby, and it's been a while since I've read the book, so I can't really compare the book versus the movie. Please head on over to Alphia Williams' channel for our longer review on this movie. The movie opens with a shot of the Louisiana Bayou. The movie opens with a shot of the Louisiana Bayou. Is someone about to find a dead body? No. It's just where Ruby Landry lives with her Grandmere Catherine. Her grandmother is a spiritual healer. Ruby also has a grandfather she calls Grandpere Jack. He's into whiskey and lives in his own little swamp shack because his wife isn't impressed with his constant antics. Ruby is an artist, and at her grandmother's craft stand one day, she lucks out and sells several of her paintings to a man who owns a gallery in the city. He gives her a $50 down payment, and she earns commissions off the paintings that sell. Her grandmother tells her to hide the money in a Bible. Ruby has a boyfriend named Paul Tate who comes from money. They've been dating for over a month. Her grandmother doesn't like the two of them being together, and Ruby assumes it's because of Paul's status in society versus hers. I'm about to give spoilers, so heads up. Ruby finds out her mother, Gabrielle, gave birth to Paul after having an affair with his father, and then gave up her baby son to the father and his wife to raise. So in true ghost-written V.C. Andrews fashion, Ruby and Paul are half-siblings. Grandmere Catherine soon gets very sick and dies, but before she does, she decides it's time to let all of the secrets out. She tells Ruby that she has a twin sister and father she's never met. Apparently, Mother Gabrielle had another affair with a wealthy married man. This one was named Pierre Dumas. Or Pierre Dumbass, as I would say. The no-good grandfather sold Ruby's sister Giselle to Pierre and his wife for $1,000. Just another man who sells off his own flesh and blood for drinking money. He didn't realize that there was another twin on the way, and so the grandmother got to keep one grandchild after all. Gabrielle dies in childbirth. So, once Ruby's grandmother dies, she's left alone with Grandpere Jack, who chains her to her bed and insists on marrying her off to an older man named Buster in exchange for more drinking money. Ruby manages to break free and wallops Buster good when he comes into her room to claim his prize. Ruby chokes her grandfather with a chain and runs away, taking with her the money of hers she'd hid in the Bible. By this point, she's also told Paul that they're related, but in true V.C. Andrews male hero fashion, he doesn't care about that, and he responds by almost having his way with her before the grandfather interrupts them. That happens, of course, sometime before Ruby chokes out Grandpere and then escapes. She goes to New Orleans to find her father and sister. Her father accepts her immediately, but her stepmother, Daphne, is the typical V.C. Andrews maternal figure. Cold, superficial, spiteful, and jealous. Pierre wants to keep Ruby for his very own, but Daphne wants her to just go away. When she loses this battle, she concocts a fake narrative to explain the appearance of the second daughter. She tells Ruby that from this day forward, she is their child who was stolen at birth and has now been miraculously returned to them. The family just never bothered to mention to anyone before that they had a missing daughter. Hopefully people won't think that's strange. Ruby's twin sister Giselle has been spoiled rotten by her upbringing, and she clearly resents this swamp sibling who's been dropped on her doorstep. At a sleepover party, which reminds me of a scene from Grease, it takes place in the 50s, Giselle and some other girls snap a photo of Ruby getting changed in the bathroom, and then show the picture around school. Daphne, of course, blames Ruby for the photo. Pierre sides with Ruby, but Daphne always sides with Giselle. Beau is Giselle's boyfriend. When Ruby meets him upon arriving at the Dumas house for the first time, he thinks she's her twin sister. He doesn't even know that Giselle has a twin sister at that point, of course, so he's the one who basically introduces her to the family when Ruby tells him who she is. Beau ends up falling for her. The Dumas' family cook is named Nina. She's into black magic. At one point, she takes Ruby to Mama Didi, who is a voodoo priestess, because Ruby is angry at Giselle for tormenting her at school. Through the priestess, Ruby casts a spell, and not long after, Giselle and her new boyfriend Martin are in a car wreck. Martin dies and Giselle is seriously injured. Ruby does go to visit Giselle at the hospital. She decides this is a good opportunity to confess to Giselle that she caused the accident by casting a voodoo spell on her. Now, why would she go and do that? Confess, I mean. I understand the voodoo spell, but no need to tell Giselle all the dirty details. Of course, this does not endear Giselle to her twin sister. Daphne asks Ruby if she will go with her to visit Pierre's brother Jean in a mental institution. He has brain damage after an accident that he was in years before, which apparently Pierre was responsible for, we learn later. Ruby gladly agrees to visit Uncle Jean, not realizing it's a trick. Daphne has brought her to the institution to be committed for nymphomania. Ruby does come across Uncle Jean in some community room, but Jean freaks out. And then another patient is like, yeah, I forgot to tell you, you don't want to talk to that guy. The same patient tells Ruby that there's a way to escape if she's interested. And boy, is she ever interested. She breaks out of the institution and hitchhikes home only to crash her mother's little tea party and announce to the guests that she's had a tough day after escaping the loony bin her mother sent her to. This has got to be my favorite scene of the movie. Pure gold. Anyway, Daphne and Ruby have it out. Ruby really gives her stepmother a piece of her mind. She doesn't even care anymore what Daphne thinks. And Pierre decides that Giselle will go to boarding school, figuring it will be better for her than public school. He wants Ruby to attend as well so that she can look out for her sister. Ruby says she'll think about it. Pierre, as always, accepts that answer and shows patience and respect for this daughter he didn't know existed up until recently. Paul makes a surprise appearance at the Dumas house. Ruby is thrilled to introduce him to his sister Giselle. Giselle is not quite as thrilled to discover she has not just a swamp sister, but also a swamp brother. And that is how this first movie ends. I have to say, I think it was overall really well done. Some of the acting could have been better. It was stiff at times, but overall I enjoyed the drama and intrigue. I liked the touch of black magic. And Nina the cook, who takes Ruby under her wing. Nina knows what kind of girl Giselle is, and clearly feels she should be punished. I would give this movie a 4 out of 5, and for V.C. Andrews movies, it's really good.
Thank you.